So depending on where you are at flexibility-wise, you might want your strap for grabbing onto that foot, okay? Um, Also, foam roller can be helpful getting into this position. There's definitely some core engagement that goes into pulling you into this. Plus, depending on how slidey or not slidey your floor is, this might help with the transition into it, but totally optional, okay? So for this one, let me walk you through how we're going to get into this if all the conditions are perfect in the world, okay? And then from there, we'll kind of work through some of the modifications that you may or may not need. Okay, so initially for this one, that exercise that we did with our pulses, we're basically going to start in that position. So slide it down to your side. From here, that leg opens up, that little clam opening, okay? Inside hand is gonna go palm up to the ceiling like a waiter's platter. You're gonna cup your heel. You're gonna push that knee behind your shoulder as much as you can, extending that leg. Your goal is to grab it with this other hand. Then once you've grabbed that other hand, this bottom leg right now is horizontal with the ground. We need to get it so the toes are pointing up. So my left hand is going to place in front of me. Think of roughly 90 at that knee. I'm going to press more weight into my front and I have to slightly roll forward. Okay, so sometimes we have to slightly open the hips to grab this leg. But to do this next transition, if I keep my hips open, instead of being perfectly stacked, I'm gonna fall over backwards. So I have to slightly roll forward, which is what this hand is doing here. I'm gonna start to turn this foot up towards the ceiling, pushing up on my knee, and it kind of brings my leg up onto my shoulder. Okay, so your goal is to have this leg be relatively vertical. And there's your final pose. Okay, from here, let's talk about modifications. That whole part of the rotation part can be a little challenging. So some people have a lot of passive flexibility. You might have no problem grabbing onto that leg, but like, oh, but I can't get that little butt lift thing. Foam roller can be helpful. If this is too big, depending on your body proportion size to your foam roller, a block is fine too, or even just put a pillow underneath you. And you might just need it initially to find the shape, and then once you find the shape, you might be able to find how to get there without it. Okay, so you're going to start with it kind of in the crux of your hip. So see, look, this bottom leg is basically already in position here. Now we're going to go same, bringing this leg down, leg over. Plus, here's the funny thing with this actually makes it easier to grab your leg. Okay, so if you start with this here, I know, super flattering position, it actually brings this leg a little bit closer because it pushes you into your side bend more, which means your arm doesn't have to go as far. Okay, so I'm going to grab this foot, pulling it over, grab a hold, hand, and then from here, even if you have the roller, try to find this engagement and gently push off of the roller. You're not going to like come miles away from it, but just instead of just totally chillaxing on it, try to feel this engagement of this push and slightly rocking the hips forward. So right now the foam roller is underneath me, but I'm not being supported by it. If there was someone here to pull it out, that totally could. Okay, so that would be how you'd work that modification in. So for some people, depending on shoulder flexibility, if you were almost there grabbing it without any of the tools, just putting this underneath you to help you tip and then grab might be the secret sauce that you needed. Okay, so additional modification, depending on where you're at with this one, you can continue to use the foam roller, and that might be a great way to go just to kind of keep your balance. Optional or not, take the strap. You're going to put it around your foot however you want to. Tie it, knot it in a bow. I recommend being around the arch of the foot, but if you prefer to tie it around your ankle, that's fine too, okay? And plus with this, in the very beginning, don't feel like your foot has to be pretty pointed, okay? In the beginning, it's just think of the first time as like get into the pose, figure out all the pieces that are going on. Then you can kind of like, I'd recommend videoing it, look at it, and then once you kind of figure out what's going on, then you can work on cleaning up all those little bits like pointy toes if you want pointed toes, maybe you don't. Okay, so we're going to start the same way on our side. This leg is going to go up here. From here, I'm going to switch it to my other hand as I extend. Okay, then from here, this is going to be the funsy part, and this is where you may want to have the roller, is you have to push up onto this other knee. Okay, so this other arm, whoop, I can keep it straight or bent, either way. Okay, so you can make this shape with it down or here, and it's going to look a little bit different on everyone depending on your flexibility. Okay, so don't feel like because you're not able to grab the foot with your hand that it's still not a super cool shape. Okay, so and by working towards that with the strap, it's going to help you get a little bit closer to grabbing it with your foot eventually too, but good practice either way. So modifications, strap, roller, do the things, try it out. Initially, just try to find the final pose, okay? Don't worry about how you get into it. Like, it can look fugly. That's okay. Just work on like finding out like, okay, what do I need to activate? It's my shoulders. I've got some, glute engagement. I've got some balance things going on. And then as it starts to feel more comfortable, it's like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Start to play with it and see if you can start to make it smooth to go into it, because eventually maybe you're going to want to put it, I don't know, in a piece or something, performance wise. Okay, you might want to put it into something. I would also love to see how your shape goes. So send me your videos, or even better, post them Instagram, Facebook, whatever, all the things. Hashtag Elizabeth BFit made me do it. I love seeing all of your shapes. They don't have to be perfect, okay? Perfect is you. Do you, whatever that is. Remember, our bodies are all different, which means that shape is going to come out looking a little bit different on everyone, depending on your flexibility, length of your arms, length of your legs, facial expressions. Sometimes mine look funny. Okay, so have fun with this. Be seeing you soon for more stretch alongs.